So it's a very important segment. We want to listen to an address by the district director, DTM James Tarouk. So may I request him to come to the podium, please.
The father of our district, distinguished Toastmaster Abdul Sakal Turkey, our district PQD, Toastmaster Abdul Ghaffur, CGD, Omar Farouk, Division D Director, Toastmaster Mani, Conference Chair, Toastmaster Palnati Raj, Area Directors, Division Officials, and Bearing Gabaliers, Pathway Ambassadors, Enabling Officers, and Emerging Leaders, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, good evening. It's kind of challenging that my session came after the gable. So please do me a favor, do not compare my facial features with the Gabaliers. But you can do justice with my body. For most of you who are my Facebook friends, you know that I am a traveler. So yesterday, while walking my way towards the airplane, to find my seat, which I paid for Plainas, I found out that someone was occupying my seat. And my anger meter was actually increasing. But just like a Toastmaster, I practice calmness and composure. And I told the tall, dark, yet arrogant passenger, "Sir, this is my seat." And I was surprised in the next turn of events. He stood up, and I thought he's going to give my seat, which I paid for. But I found out that he's offering the middle seat. So he told me, "No, this is my seat, you sit there." So just like a calm Toastmaster, I followed quietly. I took my seat, and then I waited for the time, the proper time. So I called the attention of the flight stewardess. And I told him, "This is my seat, and I paid for it. And I demand to get my seat." You know, I'm open to compromise. If only I heard the word please, but the arrogant man didn't. So I insisted. For the first time in my life, I reminded that I was once shut down by people like this arrogant man. And it's only when I became Toastmaster that gave the voice for me to speak up, and stand for my rights. And then as I recollect, I think I have to consult my leadership advisor. You know who's my leadership advisor? Not DTM Perry. It's John Maxwell. And according to John Maxwell, in order to have positive thinking cultivated amongst us, he has shared 3 steps. First, you have to take the right food. No, I'm not talking about the breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The right food to your mind. Maybe reading books, listening to podcasts, or talking to positive people. The second is you have to set simple goals day after day. Like today, you have met a lot of people. How many of you added friends to your friends list? Right? And the third is, if it doesn't work, you have to write it on the wall. Yes, sometimes we need reminders. That's why men get married, because they need to be reminded that they are men. Right? Wives? So basically, what you're seeing on the screen are just reminders. So as leaders, let me share to you the alphabet of leadership. I know that some of you already know it, but sometimes we need to be reminded, where are we? So first, what do you think is letter A? Available. According to Elizabeth Cantor-Moss, a famous Harvard Business School professor, she said that for the 6 steps to engage positive change, the first one is show up. Gone are the days that you get to encounter your area directors, your division directors, only in the conference. So how many of you personally know your area director, your division director? Are they showing up in your clubs? Just let me know. You have to be available. Second is, this is what happens to those men who thinks heavily. Just like now, I think that's bald. No, that's not for the children. That's bold. The bold that I'm talking is, you're not supposed to go as fast as a driver of F1. What we're talking about here is that when you make decisions, you need to make sure that you are conscious of the potential impact or consequence when you make such decision. That is what we meant of being bold. And when you make that decision, you have to stood up, whatever the consequences are. Next letter is, if I pass to you a basketball, will you play bowling with me? No. That is competence. Doing continuously the thing that you are that you are good at. Next. All right. What motivates you that you are staying at this point of time? It's 8:40 and yet you're still here. Is it your friends in your club? Your family? Dinner. Are you going to serve dinner? Now let me ask the contestants. Winning, is it a want or a need for you? Is winning a want or a need for you? Alright, it's a need. Because if it's a want, most likely you will not make it. So make it a need. Third is efficient. According to Albert Einstein, I don't need to memorize telephone numbers because I know where to get those. So that is efficiency. Speed up the process at minimum cost, at minimum time. So there's a difference between efficiency and effectiveness. The difference is shown in the quote given in the screen. Next, I think I'm not in authority to speak about family, but that doesn't mean I don't have family. In fact, I have the biggest extended family right now with me. It's quite essential for a leader to have a family wherein they are the ones receiving all the hard work that the leader is doing for. Right? A leader is a family-oriented. So husbands, you know at this point of time, there is a wife waiting for you in your home. Next letter. What's that? Grateful. Gratitude, actually, is the brother of humility. How many of us are frequently thanking those people who have impacted their lives? How often do we thank people? So let's practice gratitude. And gratitude comes from within. Next letter. I have a revelation to all of you. In fact, maybe this will surprise you. Being honest never hurts anyone. But lying could possibly hurt you. So you know, the word honest is a self-explanatory term. Next is one of the most troubled subject in our district right now. Are you the same person when the camera is on or off? Or you are changing your image when you go publicly? Because there are two things. You keep your own private image and you have your own public image. So integrity is doing the same thing whether there is camera on or off. Next, of course, here in Toastmasters, we don't just talk about business. because work without play is boring. So as a leader, we have to learn how to make fun because as per our founder, Dr. Ralph Smedley, we learn in the moments of enjoyment. So leaders, learn how to make your members happy. Now, after J, knowledgeable. Knowledge is power. If you don't have the necessary information or knowledge at hand, then probably there's an issue about your credibility and authority. Leaders, like area directors, division directors, district officers, they are perceived to be knowledgeable. Next, the moment you stop learning is the moment you die, right? So as long as you're living, continue learning. So today, how many strangers you have met in the hall? That is equivalent to the learning opportunities that you might have today. We can always learn from a stranger, and in fact, learning from stranger, you can make always a stranger an old friend. Now, we're down to letter. What's the next letter? M. What do you think is the adjective for M? M. Magic? No, money. Money? I'm not Abdul Razak Al-Turki. M is for moral. Let's see. Manager. You are given resources. And you know what? According to Peter Drucker, the challenge of management is that achieving the purpose within limited resources. That is management as per Peter Drucker. So all of us as leaders, we're given these resources, materials. So we have to use it wisely and properly. And, okay, I'm talking about friends. So how many of you have extended your network? Along the way, we have people who have touched our lives, or it's the other way around. You touch other people's lives. The person that you will meet today might be the next seatmate in your airline trip. You don't know. It happened to me that I was having this heated discussion with a seatmate in an airplane. It turned out that he was my office mate. So extend your network. O, what's the word? Optimistic. According to Winston Churchill, during the Nazi invasion, the greatest weapon of Britain is not the weapon itself. The greatest weapon of the British people that time was hope. Despite of having crisis in our current situation right now, as leaders, we should maintain optimism. How many letters more? Now we're down to letter P. Cliche it may sound, but failure to plan means you're planning to fail. Plan is a blueprint of our success. This conference was not possible without the efforts of those team planning for its success, right? So as a leader, learn how to plan properly. Next, qualified. We're not talking about here college degree or certification. We're talking about the basic characteristics or the basic traits for you to do a job. Are you qualified? I'm sure you are, because you'll not be here if you're not. Next, R. Do you know that you are a writer? And what is your masterpiece? What will be your masterpiece if you're a writer? Minds, books. But the biggest masterpiece is called life. You are responsible for your life. Life is life. Yes. So start being responsible as a leader. Next. All right. We have two things. We have the thinking and we have the feelings. Being sensitive is taking care of the feelings and the emotions and the way your members think. That is what leaders do. Be sensitive. All right? If they are feeling motivated, demotivated, what you need to do is motivate them. Right? Of course, according to a Chinese proverb, behind any able man, there are other able men. So are you a team player? Cliche it may sound again, team means together, everyone achieves more. So make sure that you are contributing to your team. Be a team player. Next is understanding, which is self-explanatory. We understand the current situation. We understand the members that we are leading. We understand other external factors that might affect the situation. Understanding is that glue that will hold us to our destination. Visionary. How many of you have been to how many of you have been to Disneyland? Okay? Okay, those are rich individuals who can afford to go to Disneyland. Do you know that Walt Disney actually was so fascinated in a carousel? He was so delighted that he brought his 2 children to see the carousel. He was so amazed with the lights, the sounds. But when the carousel stopped, the moment of truth came. He saw that the horses were dilapidated, the boats were turning out. It was completely a dull carousel. So that inspired him to create the company Walt Disney. So visionary. Be a visionary because vision is the guiding force for you, again, to reach your destination. We're down to a few letters. W. Okay, walk the talk. You need to be a worker. If you're preaching something, you have to sweat it out. Okay? Words are easier said, but putting them into action is harder. So be a worker. Have you ever wondered what is signal? Do you know this word? This might be for the BP education, this might be a good word of the day. Signal means what? Hospitable. Are you hospitable? Then you're a signal. As leaders, we need to use our charm. Sometimes it fails in me. But if you feel that if you have that pleasing personality, then it will work positively to you. So, as leaders, sometimes if we need to get things done, we have to use our charm. Be a signal leader. X, Y, Z. Now we're down to letter Y. What is Y? This is actually for the age leaders. Young at heart. Alright? So most of us have social media accounts. We need to be at pace with the current technology. Being at heart, it will give you that happiness. Okay? And finally, the last letter in our alphabet is, this is usually happening between lovers. Do you guess the word? Pizza. Not zoo. Okay. It's no, that's jealous. This word is zealous. Okay? Fellow Toastmasters, leaders, we are driven by our passion. Zealous means we have to be passionate in everything we do. If we have work, and I'm sure that we have our own respective jobs, the most rewarding job is the one that is close to our hearts, that is based on our passion. So if you like writing, thank you. So, fellow Toastmasters, we have learned from A to Z. This is my parting words to all of you. Alright? And this is the most important part of the slides. According to John Maxwell, you can love people without leading them. But you cannot lead people without loving them. So fellow Toastmasters, I love you all. Back to the topic.
Thank you, District Director, for this crash course of leadership. And you love us, we love you also.